Young man, don't go into 2021 complaining about white supremacy. Those days are over, young man. Those days are over. It's time to build. And by building, I don't mean the generic building that people always talk about as far as nations building. What I'm talking about is building relationships and building family. It's time for us as the masculine, the divine masculine, to really stop making excuses to why we can't, to why it's hard, to why it's impossible, to why it can't be done. We have all this spiritual knowledge, all this knowledge of the things that our ancestors have achieved, this knowledge of the successes that we have had in our own individual lives. And we're still relying and depending on this system to somehow, some way, magically shake things up for us. And by us, I mean those of us that are melanated here on this planet that are trying to advance other melanated people into the future. So, young man, don't get caught up in what the rappers are doing. Don't get caught up in trying to chase the clout. Get caught up in trying to build and create something for you and your family, something that's going to be able to give you resources and get those coins. Don't get caught up in being a consumer and trying to wear your divinity and your godhood as a label on your chest or a label on your feet. Don't get caught up in the hype. Create your brands now. Create your clothing lines. Create your video games. Create movies. Create art. Create books. Create practical things that we consume like spoons and forks and plates. It's time for that type of masculine creativity to come back. We talk about the divine mother being the source of energy, but the divine father is the creator, the divine pater, the divine pata. And we can't keep putting this in the hands of our women as well. We can't keep depending on women to continue to guide us. Because guess what? All the women got waist beads now. And these waist beads, they got their crystals. So they're getting charged up. They're getting charged up one way or another. They're having these sister circles where they're talking about different spiritual principles and different herbs to use for healing and tinctures and different breathing patterns and different womb movements, right? Different mantras and chants. This is what's going on. The masculine circle is worrying about who is and who isn't wearing their mask and who's winning the game and who is scoring the most points in the game for the most part, and who's beefing with who on the internet and who's shooting who on the internet and what's the new conspiracy theory they could find. That's what the masculine is caught up in. Gossip as well, right? So we really need to, while the sun is in Sagittarius, we really need to come to a point where we divest our energy into becoming creators as men, creating businesses. And if we are not creators ourselves, empowering creators, standing next to creators, there's nothing wrong with being number 2 or number 3. A lot of people think that that's not a value position. You have to be the person in the spotlight. LeBron James got a person named Randy. Randy does everything, handles everything, does all the running. But I bet Randy is making a great living, and Randy is living the life that he chooses to live and enjoying it. Everyone has a different passion. Everyone is here for a different reason. So don't discount what your passion is, because that is your reason for being. And what you have to do is start to create around it and start to build around it and start to form alliances. Start to form think tanks with these groups that are on Facebook and these groups that you could create on these social media sites. Like, involve yourself in these groups and create networks and start creating businesses. Pull your creativity together to create unique businesses with unique ideas. Right now, the intellectual can meet the creative from the hood. The kid that grew up in the suburbs that has the knowledge of cyber networks and technology can meet the kid from the hood who just knows how to create. Meet the kid from the hood that creates the new music genre. You know what I'm saying? Just like Grandmaster Flash with the turntable and Cool Herc with the speakers and the break beats. The next music genre will also be created from the streets like it always is. It's organic. So we need to get back to being creators. The times of the pyramids is over. We need new pyramids. We need new forms of pyramids. And we need less excuses. And I'm not just talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself. We need to start building. We need to start pooling more, getting things together so that we could see this reality that we want to see in this new world. Because the new world order is coming. The vaccine mandation is coming. And we need to figure out how we're going to create ways to get away or figure out ways to escape, right? Or get around this thing. But that takes creativity. You can't do that if you're just a slave or you're just waiting for something to happen. It takes creativity, it takes planning, and it takes coalition, and it takes alliance. So, young man, learn to use your masculinity for your creations, not for talking, not for chatter. And if that is your purpose, it should still be creation around that talk and that chatter. Okay, create vehicles for yourself to get resources for you and your family, to get currency for you and your family, and also to expand the universe that you live in and the universe for you and your children that come after you. Peace, power, and prosperity, y'all.